Hi everybody. Today I've got Alex de Klossen with me, and as you know, Alex is going to be taking you for 5, 6, 7 curriculum issues in theory in museums, and that's coming up 2 weeks after the end of our 558 course. So that's about April 10th, isn't it, Alex? Thereabouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I wanted to do with Alex today is talk to you about the pedagogy. That's the way in which we teach in the online environment. And the similarities and the differences that are in common and different with my course and Alex's course. So I remember at the beginning of the 558 course, I had to just clarify a little bit for you the transition between Lisa's course and my course and the way in which I was teaching and the expectations. And I just thought it would be useful, very useful indeed, for us to have a conversation together with Alex about how his teaching is going to be similar and different to the way I've been teaching. So you'll remember in Lisa's course, Lisa was getting you to be fairly discreet about the kinds of postings that you made. You made a summary posting. Each of you had to do a couple of threads and a posting and something like that, some defined numeric number each week. And then I came along and said, oh, actually I'm much more about the learning as opposed to the task. And it's not that Lisa was incorrect in her approach, as I said in my introductory video. It's that you were having to come to grips with a tremendous lot of new information coming into the program, not only graduate level work at UBC, but having to deal with an online environment and learning how that works and so on. So we're going up in stages and progressively developing our pedagogy to maximize our learning. So in my course, as you are well aware, I post questions each week, which are designed to be discussion questions to get a conversation going. And similarly, our colleagues who do the facilitated group seminar post questions. And this is designed to get a bonfire burning. That's my metaphor for learning, because I want to see the catalyst start to take hold where we're all pitching it, and we're doing it out of our own intrinsic motivations, and we're excited to contribute about what we've learned from our readings and what issues really spoke to us. And then with that, the conversation starts to burn away, and then, hey presto, everybody's engaged and talking. The important criteria here is that everybody's involved. So participation is critical, and knowledgeable participation is critical. That is, you have to have read the readings in order to be able to contribute meaningfully to the questions that are posed and the alternate questions that you put forward for discussion. Pedagogically also, you know that each week I posted a short video which introduced the topic and the readings, and at the end I required one of you to volunteer to do a little summary of the week's threads. And this is I think incredibly useful for our learning, because not only does that volunteer who's intrinsically motivated to capture our thoughts for the week present that summary, which is very useful for us to go back, but also it puts the responsibility back on us as the community of learners for our own learning. And so I've had that strategy running all the way through my course. General introduction, the bonfire of learning and conversation around the articles and ideas, and the contribution at the end of the week on Sunday night as someone posts a summary of that. Pedagogically also, I've had you work in groups deliberately. So each week someone's taken responsibility for a facilitated group seminar, and that's a deliberate strategy to get you used to using Collaborate and other technologies in order to have conversations with us collectively, and to get you to work together with your colleagues and once again stimulate a rich learning environment. So I'm just going to pass it to Alex now, and Alex is going to talk about his course and some of the similarities and the differences between my pedagogy and the way I've been teaching the course and the way in which he'll be teaching the course. So over to you, Alex.
Thank you, David. Hello, everybody. Yes, we're looking forward to curriculum theory and issues. And I have a very similar pedagogy to David, in that you'll be working in groups and you will be facilitating a week, and we have the weeks broken down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first week we all work together, and then starting in the second week, you will volunteer 2 or 3 in a group to lead that week. And there's set readings which are in Connect, and then you decide the week before how you're going to present it. You send me that information about how you're going to present it, and then if you need some facilitation from me to go into small groups or set up a particular thread or whatever, then I do that for you. And then starting on the Monday, we had thought of changing. I'm going to see when I look at the course, changing it so we might start in the middle of the week.
I think Monday or starting on Tuesday was probably
okay. That was
a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the issue for many of you that you're busy people, of course, because you're working, as many of you are full-time teachers and museum educators, and the weekend flowing into Monday provided a good opportunity for you to really get all your thoughts out. So probably a Tuesday to Tuesday cycle or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So to give you that full weekend work, because I understand that's one of the main times you can do it. But so leading a week, and then similar to David, but in the group you will be responsible for a summary of that week's, what did we discuss.
So about, I guess there'll be like 8 groups being a 9-week course, Alex, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
8 divided by 17.
So it's two leading a group with maybe one person will be in a third group.
Okay.
And I'm interested in you thinking about who you want to work with and suggesting your own partner. And if you have a particular, I'd really like to go first because I know my schedule, I can work with that and set you in. So that's in our first week we will figure out who's doing what. Yeah, and at the beginning I have a video that there you'll be introduced, and some of you might find it a little, well, that's a little confusing. And it's not intended to be confusing more than it is to say, oh, there's lots of questions and things don't always work exactly like we're thinking they're going to work. And so I do that quite deliberately so that we can realize that, oh yeah, things are always in flux and change, and we work with that. We're always open to the vagaries of learning and how we go. And also I do have quite a strong arts-based approach, which for some of us might be an interesting change, for some of us might be a little scary, but I think it's a really interesting way to try to work through a course. So I bring in a number of arts-based ways of thinking and open up answers that can be done in an arts-based manner. And that will make sense after we've done the course. So it's not something to worry about because it's very much a process-orientated thing. Sort of as David was talking, pedagogically, we need to be there. We need to engage with the material every week. We need to read what I set up there and then maybe what other people are bringing in. And we need to be self-engaged, self-leading, because that's where the learning is. If we don't engage, you can't learn. So pedagogically, I'm right in David's camp. I give a lot to you to give back to the group and to be in it. And that's where I think real learning happens. It's in the struggle. Doesn't always make sense. And especially, we're going to be jumping into curriculum. Boom. And so we do a lot. I use Aoki quite a lot, and we'll see how you can be. It's an Aokiism because he has a very interesting and deliberate lived curriculum. So I see our 9 weeks as a lived curriculum. It's set, but it's open, and there's lots to move in, and can be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm here for you. That's the other thing. Any questions? I always say, all questions are good questions. There's no such thing as a bad question. So I'm there. I will answer, maybe not always on the weekends, but during the work week, I'm there within a couple of hours usually, but always within 12 hours. So I think that's, that's
so
really
in terms of the posting of threads and responding to threads, what's your expectation there, Alex?
Well, because they're group-led in the week, they set that criteria. So you as a group leader will be saying, okay, I expect 1 or 2 posts, or as I think, the way David's been leading you is the way to consider the way to look at all of our weeks too, is that it's not really about numbers, it's about engagement with material.
Thoughtful engagement.
Thoughtful engagement is the way to put it.
Yes.
I mean, I do sort of, if you don't engage at all, well, that's the thing about having computers, we can see, oh, X student and B student, they weren't there all week. They didn't even post. So it's very easy for me to go, oh, you're not even in the conversation, let alone whether it's substantive. If you're not there, and that's communication. If you communicate with me, I understand we all have lives, but it's really important. I expect you to be there. And if something comes up, then you email me and say, Alex, I'm not going to be there for those 3 days because what? I'll say, no problem. And the rest of the group will know too, and we're all going to work together. Very collaborative. Work together.
So to be completely open and transparent, it does trouble the instructor when you're not there. So if we look at the data for the end of the week and then we think, so-and-so student has just been not there, and I'm wondering what's going on, and it happens again, we think, what is going on here? Now, we're not your father's here to chase you around the block. You're all professional people, and you're paying a lot of money to gain this professional development through this master's program. So the responsibility is on you as the learners to read the readings, to engage and contribute. And we're not here to chase you down the street because you're not there. But it does, to be honest, it does flag in our mind. Why is so-and-so not participating? And of course, you're all educators. You know the joys of having the students engage and loving the learning process and expressing their curiosity and ideas. And that kind of discussion, it's a tremendous joy. And it's a tremendous joy to us as your instructors when we see that too. Alex, I know that there's quite a transition and a jump from this course to curriculum theory. We're dealing with 2 different animals here. So I've been talking about the nature of learning in informal context, and we've been looking at it across different demographics and different groups and different issues, and really engaging with the research literature around us, and learned a tremendous amount of stuff. But we're about to switch gears, and it's quite a change of gears to this issue of curriculum theory. And I know, having been involved with this MED program for 5 iterations now, that first couple of weeks can be a little bit when it comes to curriculum theory. Where am I? Where's the? I'm floating in space. What can I grab onto? Sort of thing.
Where is it?
Yeah, where is it? So can you speak to the experience that these guys are going to have in the first couple of weeks, and how to not feel like you're floating and lost in space, but to get that sense of, oh, okay, I'm going this way.
Yeah. Or to be comfortable in your discomfort, I think is another way to say it. You know, that it is possible that some of the readings, because they're looking at curriculum and what is curriculum, and as I said, someone like Aoki, who's delved into the lived curriculum versus the curriculum as planned. And so we try to look at Canadian content to curriculum. And as Steve, a curriculum scholar, friend, colleague, said, well, we just jump in. I mean, in 9 weeks, you can't, we're not doing the history of curriculum, so we just dive right in. And we look at a number of museum educators who have used their understanding of curriculum to expand on how a museum can work within this curriculum. And a curriculum being, like one of the first questions I asked, whether another curriculum course that say was just after summer, was what was the curriculum, what was your summer curriculum? What curriculum was your summer? So I try to expand our notion of we come in going, oh, curriculum is about the specifics of a course. And I'm saying, no, curriculum is about your life. Curriculum is about your whole museum. It's a holistic of the entirety of the way you're working in your museum. That's your curriculum. So I see a mission of where we expand the notion of curriculum. And so, yes, it can be daunting to begin with because it seems so large. But as I said, we're just taking little bits of it, and we try to pull those apart and see what those are. And each week, looking at it a little differently.
Great.
Yeah.
Does that cover it?
I think it does.
Good.
I think you'll all do just fine. Just turn up, be there, and that's the way it works.
Okay. Good.
Thanks.
Well, thanks so much, Alex. This has been
You're
a very
welcome.
useful conversation to have.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to passing the baton. I had a baton here. Here it is to Alex. The baton's to Alex.
Ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go. And you're in very good hands. Alex is a very, very good instructor.
And it's exciting to think that in the next year and a half, we get to see you again, or I do, when you come in to do your 598 and 590. Because you bring back all this learning into your research. And that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Because I see you from here, and then it's like, oh, and this is what you're going to be doing.
And look how you've developed and changed and how you're thinking now. So it is exciting.
Yeah.
Good.
It's an exciting program. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. I'm not having that baton. It's yours. Okay. Good. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.